Hello my friends, it's time to talk about the 5 things that annoy me about the Huawei P20 Pro. I'm just gonna say from the beginning of this video as a disclaimer, these are personal reasons and these are things that can be overlooked very easily, and especially for me. Basically, I'm facing the same issues that I had with HTC U11 when trying to find out or to see reasons why the phone shouldn't be as good as it is actually in reality. Basically, if you want this phone, for me as a real user, real consumer, is almost perfect. Almost, not perfect, because I don't believe in perfect things, but it's almost perfect, and it suits perfectly to my needs, to my philosophy, to the way that I use a device, and it helps me in every single aspect of my usage. These are 5 things, I don't know how to call them, because reasons would be too much, that annoy me about the Huawei P20 Pro, but not very much actually. I can overlook them very simply because basically they are not ruining my experience in any way. They are not, I don't know, destroying all the pros about this device. But still, they exist, so I'm gonna mention them in this video. Reason number one, or thing number one, is the lack of microSD support and the lack of a 3.5 headphone millimeter jack. Basically, the microSD card expansion is a bigger problem for me because I'm accustomed to shoot with my camera, take out the microSD, insert it in the phone, and continue my work on the phone. But because I use a Sony camera that comes with NFC and Wi-Fi, I don't really have a problem because I can simply transfer the files from the camera straight to the phone. So it's not a big deal for me if you want. And the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack is a non-issue for my type of usage, basically because I only use Bluetooth headphones. I've made a transition to Bluetooth headphones a couple of years ago, and basically all of my headphones are wireless ones, so it doesn't bother me that I don't have a 3.5 headphone jack. But it may bother everyone else out there. Reason number two is the display of this device, and don't get me wrong, the display is simply amazing, very big, 6.1 inches, AMOLED type, very nice colors, very good contrast, very good viewing angles, and very bright in direct sunlight. But what may bother you, and sometimes it does bother me, especially when using Instagram for example, is this notch right here. The notch is copied from Apple, but compared to Apple's solution on the iPhone X, I actually believe that Huawei's implementation is a decent one. It's a better one, mainly because the size of the notch is a lot smaller, so it doesn't take up as much as the iPhone X from the display. But if you want to hide it and you don't like it, you just go to the settings, display, notch, hide notch, and problem solved. You get a normal 18:9 aspect ratio screen, so there is no more there isn't any notch on top of the display, and you can enjoy your regular device. The other thing about the screen, it's about the resolution of this display. It only comes with a full HD plus resolution. Considering the size of the screen, this isn't a big problem. It doesn't bother me. It does not, I don't know, annoy me when consuming multimedia or whatnot, but it may bother other people. Considering also the price of this device, I would have preferred for Huawei to put a 2K display just like they did on the Huawei Mate 10, the regular one. But it's their decision, so what can I say? Basically, all smartphones nowadays, especially Samsung devices that come with 2K displays, by default, out of the box, they come preset to 1080p or a Full HD plus. Basically, to resolve or to better manage battery life, and also so that the CPU, the processor, works completely fine. So it doesn't bother me at all that I have only a Full HD plus resolution on this display. But as I said, if you take into consideration the price point of this device, I would have certainly preferred to have a 2K display. Reason number three is the camera. And what I mean by the camera, I don't have anything bad to say about the photo cameras. They are simply amazing, and right now, at the moment of this video, the cameras on the back on the Huawei P20 Pro are simply amazing. They are the best there are on the market, and they are unbeatable so far by any other device. But the story changes when we talk about video cameras. And the problem is not with the whole video department, but one particular scenario, and that is 4K video recording. In 1080p Full HD, you get optical image stabilization. The videos look really nice, they look really great, lots of details, colors, white balance is correct, and the video stabilization is simply amazing. This is also what Huawei calls AI assisted stabilization. But in 4K, although all three sensors have optical image stabilization built in 4K video recording, that video stabilization is deactivated. And I don't know why. Videos look a lot worse, in my opinion, than 1080p videos. And also you notice a lot of loss in details in the 4K video format. Also, you only get 30 frames per second video capture, not 60 frames per second. And stabilization is a no-go. Videos look shaky and wobbling and whatnot. So the video department needs a lot of work from Huawei, and it doesn't bother me too much because I don't really shoot a lot of 4K videos with my cell phone. But again, compared to the price point of the device, I would have preferred in having something like, I don't know, you can find on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, for example, which takes some amazing video recordings in 4K mode. Reason number 4, again, something that actually annoys me is the fact that you get a lot of bloatware on the device. I've uninstalled a lot of apps, basically disabled them, not uninstalled, because you cannot uninstall them, but I disabled a lot of apps that come pre-installed on the device. And I really hate the fact that manufacturers produce or introduce so much bloatware on their devices. It's the same story like Samsung phones, where you have a internet browser from Samsung and you also get Google Chrome. You have an app gallery made by Google, you have one made by Samsung, and one not. Same story goes here with the Huawei P20 Pro. I really hate bloatware. It consumes a lot of space, a lot of resources in the background, and it's very annoying having to disable everything that you don't need. And as I said, you cannot unfortunately uninstall all those apps because basically they are built in to the device software. Hopefully in the future EMUI will be a lot more, I don't know, relaxed in terms of duplicate apps. And reason number 5, again, it's all about the camera, and what I mean by the camera is the photo camera this time around, which, as I said, at this moment is considered to be the best on the market, the best that money can buy on a smartphone. But there is one thing that sometimes may annoy you, and it is annoying me. Sometimes becomes very intrusive, and sometimes also may, I don't know, may become an overkill in the camera department, and that's the AI, the master AI, as Huawei calls it. This master AI is by default enabled. What this means is that the phone is able to recognize 19 different scenarios, and when you are taking a picture in full auto mode, it will decide which settings are better so that you can capture the perfect image. But sometimes this becomes very intrusive, and you may want to disable it simply because it's actually annoying. You don't want every single time the device to decide by its own which picture settings are better, which scenario is better, and whatnot. So you can do this very simple. Just go into the camera, go to the settings, and disable Master AI. It's very simple, and if you want to use it, just enable it. But as I said, sometimes it tends to ruin the pictures that you want to take, and I did took a lot of shots where Master AI basically ruined my pictures. So keep in mind that this one is a bit on the tricky side, and it does have a mind of its own. These basically are my 5 things, to call them like this, that sometimes annoy me about the Huawei P20 Pro. As I said, these are personal things, these are things that apply to me to a point, but at the same time there are things that don't actually matter a lot to me, and don't really bother me that much to say that this device is, I don't know, a no-go, for example. On the contrary, right now, from all the phones that I used throughout my life and throughout these past years, this one is almost perfect for me. Why? Because it does everything that I want, and it does it very well. It's a very, very good smartphone in this respect.